Indices is a plural of the word index, and it's also called power. It shows how many times a number or letter has been multiplied by itself. For example, if you have an expression 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10, you can simply write it as 10 raised to the power of 4, where 4 is the power, also known as the index, and 10 is the base. Also, if you have an expression x raised to the power of 5, it simply means x multiplied by itself 5 times. So when you're multiplying indices, you just simply add the powers. If you have a raised to the power of 3 multiplied by a raised to the power of 2, it gives you a raised to the power of 3 plus 2, which is a raised to the power of 5. Anytime you're multiplying expressions with the same base, you add up the powers. M raised to the power of 5 multiplied by m raised to the power of 2 will give you m raised to the power of 7. That's 5 plus 2, which gives you 7. Division of indices. When you're dividing expressions with the same base, you equally subtract the powers. 10 raised to the power of 6 divided by 10 raised to the power of 2 will give 10 raised to the power of 6 minus 2, which is 10 raised to the power of 4. In this example, you have 4a raised to the power of 4 divided by 2a raised to the power of 2. Here we have 4 and then we have 2. So you divide the numbers. That's 4 divided by 2. Then you now take the a raised to the power of 4 divided by a raised to the power of 2. So that gives you 2a raised to the power of 2. So we divide the numbers and then we subtract the powers. Also, if you have anything raised to the power of 0, it's equal to 1. Anything at all, whether it's a letter or a number, if it's raised to the power of 0, it's always equal to 1. And we're going to see why shortly. We have an example here that says y raised to the power of 4 divided by y raised to the power of 4. Of course, we know that anything divided by itself is 1. So y raised to the power of 4 divided by y raised to the power of 4 is 1. And then based on what we just learned, y raised to the power of 4 divided by y raised to the power of 4 can also be written as y raised to the power of 4 minus 4, which is y raised to the power of 0. So we see here that y raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. So anything that is raised to the power of 0 is 1. In the same vein, anything that is raised to the power of 1 is itself. So when we're raising a power to a power, x a raised to the power of b, we'll just multiply the indices together. In this example, 10 raised to the power of 3, also now raised to the power of 2, will give us 10 raised to the power of 6. 2b raised to the power of 2, and then raised to the power of 3. Everything in the bracket is raised to the power of 3, so you can group it. You can take the 2 raised to the power of 3, and then you multiply it by the b squared raised to the power of 3. So that gives us 8 times b raised to the power of 6, which is 8b raised to the power of 6. Now let's take a look at negative indices. When you have a negative indices, for example, something raised to a negative power, you can simply rewrite it as the inverse of that expression. If you have x raised to the power of negative 1, for example, it can be written as 1 over x raised to the power of 1, which is also x. So x raised to the power of 3 divided by x raised to the power of 4. That's x raised to the power of 3 minus 4, which is x raised to the power of minus 1. So if we have it broken down here, we have x multiplied by x multiplied by x divided by x multiplied by x multiplied by x multiplied by x. So it gives us 1 over x. So that is to say that x raised to the power of negative 1 will give us 1 over x. So we have another example. 10 raised to the power of negative 3 is, if you want to rewrite that, that will be 1 over 10 raised to the power of 3. You just simply write it as an inverse, which is 1 over 1000. We have another example here. A raised to the power of negative 3 divided by a raised to the power of negative 5. So a raised to the power of negative 3 can be written as 1 over a raised to the power of 3, And a raised to the power of negative 5 can also be written as a raised to the power of negative 5. So if you bring the two together, 1 over a raised to the power of 3 divided by 1 over a raised to the power of 5. Now, if you're changing the expression from division to multiplication, you just rotate it. That means you bring the numerator down and you take the denominator up. So 1 over a raised to the power of 3 divided by 1 over a raised to the power of 5 becomes 1 over a raised to the power of 3 times a raised to the power of 5 divided by 1, which is the same thing as a raised to the power of 5 divided by a raised to the power of 3. And that is a raised to the power of 5 minus 3, which gives us a raised to the power of 2. We can also solve it in another way. That's a raised to the power of 3 divided by a raised to the power of negative 5 will give us a raised to the power of, because we are dividing, we are subtracting. So we are subtracting the negative 3 and the negative 5. So that's negative 3 minus 5. And that's negative 3 plus 5, which is also 2, which also gives us a raised to the power of 2.